Death Valley at night, you knew it was going to be a good atmosphere. LSU and Florida. Florida coming off of that loss to South Florida. And if you just look at it and it's like LSU beats Florida 20-10, and you're like, oh, okay. You're like a good defensive-oriented SEC-style game. Yeah. And LSU got going a little bit. And yet it was much weirder than that. LSU, all of a sudden this year, decided that they're not going to play well on the offensive side at all and just win games on defense, which, by the way, is so difficult to do. So they all of a sudden change their defense, bring in new coordinator, bring in a lot of new players from the transfer portal, and invest in that area and change the trajectory of that side of the football. And yet, a lot of the questions around that program are now surrounding the fact that they thought they were going to have one of the better offenses and better quarterbacks in the SEC and in the country, and it hasn't materialized. And yet, when you ask Brian Kelly that question off the bat after the win, he reacts like this.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game.
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I really do. I'm not one to sit here and defend a lot of like what Brian Kelly does, but like I kind of loved that. I love that, and his team loves that. And again, I said this last week in regards to Sark's comments when he bit the head off of a reporter in defense of Arch Manning. Coaches speak to the team through the media, not to the media. Coaches don't care. I mean, like, I hate to tell you this. If you sit in one of those seats, they don't care about you, and they don't feel like they need you at all. And so when you ask them something like that is antagonistic towards a sector or a specific group on their team, they're going to get upset. They're going to get upset. And you know what? I don't totally disagree with him because, yeah, you did win the game. Like, come on. That's the first question after a 20-10. How about like, man, your defense played great. How did you go about fixing the defense so quickly? And I guarantee you, by the way, if the question is posed like that, Brian Kelly is going to praise his defense. And then we all know Brian Kelly. He'll criticize his own offense. He'll get there for you. But when you lead with that, he's going to defend them. That's the thing that people don't understand. So everyone wants to take this in a vacuum and just say like, Brian Kelly's disrespectful to that reporter, and that reporter doesn't deserve that. Brian Kelly doesn't care about that reporter. And candidly, like, I'm fine with that answer because he's communicating to his team. He ultimately answers to his team. That's who he works for every day, every moment is for his team. The psyche of his team, the preparation of his team, the belief that his team has in him and that he has in them. That's what he's doing. So when he does that, his team feels like they have their back. He has their back, rather, is what I should say. And that's the point. That's the point. And coaches around the country, Ryan Day gets questions like this. He's got to deal with media like that. It's like you get this hard-fought win. Is it perfect? No. Does he want to play better on offense? Absolutely. And is he going to have to? Probably. The offense did not look right. I'll talk a little bit more about that, certainly. And we can banter about that. We can talk about that. And by the way, you could ask him about that in some way. But when it's the opening question, he's going to bite your head off and defend his team. And most coaches would have done the same. You've got to be perfect every week for those people. It's just wild. You know, I talk with guys all the day. Ryan Day, has this issue. Sharon Moore can have this issue. And it's like all anyone wants to ask him about is the problems. That's it. Not, man, this player really developed, or tell me about all the interceptions and what was the game plan defensively to really him in DJ Lagway and make him throw all those picks. No, the question is, what's wrong with the offense? Oh, man. Blake Baker has fixed the defense. He has to be a leading contender right now for the Broyles Award because of what he's done and what they needed him to do, and now how they're winning games, because they're leaning on Blake Baker, they're leaning on the defense, and that defense is coming through. I think their offense is going to be better. I'm going to continue to have my faith in the fact that those players are too good. The system is too good. I think Nussmeier is too good to play the way that they've played. And candidly, Florida's athletic and they're good. That's not a bad football team by any stretch of the imagination. They happen to have a quarterback that makes it incredibly difficult to win tight ball games because he constantly throws the football to the other team. When they get into matchup games or even FBS games, this guy throws interceptions like Oprah hands out cars. You get a car and you get a car. I mean, DJ Lagway has got to hold onto the football. That's a massive issue. Credit LSU and their defense for what they're able to do. There's no doubt. The defense, what is that? They were last in the SEC in scoring. The offense right now is last in the SEC in scoring, and yet they're undefeated. That's incredible. So what their defense is doing is outstanding, and they did it to Florida, who is now 1-2 on the season. They're right in the middle of their most difficult stretch of the year, schedule-wise, and Lagway just threw 5 interceptions, including a pick 6 in a 20-10 game. You cannot make those throws. You can't. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. It doesn't matter that the touchdown pass that you threw was an absolute dime, and there's not many players in the country that can throw that ball on that trajectory and with that touch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are at the top end as a quarterback. It doesn't. It matters where your floor is. Because if your floor is so low that your team can't win games because of your floor, that's a problem. And that's what's going on with Florida and DJ Lagway. 5 interceptions is not going to cut it. You can throw 30 passes and 25 of them can be perfect, which is never going to happen. But 25 of them can be perfect. But if 5 of them are awful, you lose. You lose. In fact, I'm going to bring up, because Ryan Day talked about this so well after his team's win over Ohio, and Julian Sayin threw a couple of picks in poor moments in that game as a young quarterback learning. And Day talked about this exact thing that I'm referencing. The fact that it doesn't matter how good you are. You can't make the big mistake. Here's Ryan Day.
I thought he played well, a lot of good plays, but what you have to learn as a quarterback, I say it's just like golf. Like, you can have a great day, but if you hit, 2 in the water, your round's ruined. Well, it's the same way here. And, a tip ball in a 2-minute drill could cost you a game. And then, we got a chance to put him away up 3 scores, going to get our 4th score. And, in that moment, he knows he's got to take the sack, which is not something that he's had to do before. Take your medicine and live to see another day. So, a lesson learned.
The football is paramount. The position of quarterback is about the football. It's about taking care of the football. It's about operating the offense clean. And then once you do that as your floor, and your floor is high enough where you can go win football games, then your talent becomes the icing on the cake. You cannot start with talent. You can't. You can't. You will fail because your team won't win football games. It might look cool. It might get onto highlights. But DJ Lagway right now versus FBS teams in his career, 13 games, 8 of them starts. He's got 11 touchdowns. Oh, man, that's great. 15 interceptions against FBS opponents. That can't happen. Billy Napier's in trouble. The problem for Napier is they aren't clean. They don't take care of the football. They're not disciplined, and you lose. It doesn't matter how many good players you have out there. Your floor matters in this sport, both as a team and as a quarterback specifically. And as a team, your floor is how disciplined are you? How disciplined are you? How detailed are you? And when you commit so many penalties, you're not disciplined and you're not detailed. 18 penalties over the last 2 games. 18. They had the spitting call against South Florida. That directly cost them a bunch of yards and ultimately the game. They had a holding call in this game that wiped out an 87-yard touchdown in a 20-10 game in which one of the scores was a pick 6. So, like, Florida is beating themselves. They are beating themselves. And that's why, if I'm a Gators fan, I'm so upset because the team's floor is a direct reflection of the coach. You know, talent raises the level. I get that. I get that. And everyone screams about talent, and everyone wants to have talent all over the field. Yes, but there is a baseline level of play that you have to have. There's a baseline level of detail. There's a baseline level of urgency that you have to have, or else you get beat. And that's exactly what's going on with Florida. Exactly what's going on with Florida. So are they going to be a 4-win team, 5-win team? I'm not sure. I don't think that this team goes to a bowl game, even with all that talent around, because their floor is just too low.
Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.